Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. Welcome to a special live stream video, and because this is live and because of the specific time that this is being broadcast, my wife has to eat lunch. So if you hear some things going on in the kitchen, if you hear some rumbling, some knives, some, cooking things going on, that is what is going on. Not much you can do about it, just the way it is. So anyway, before we actually get into the topic, this is kind of like a personal rant thing, and I just want to do it live. I, didn't want to edit it. I do have videos to edit, and they're running a little slow right now. So it's like I figure I would share this little story that hit us very recently, and when I say recent, I mean today. But before we begin, I want to stress one thing: this is not a video where I am e-begging. Granted, I won't necessarily say no if you want to drop a super chat or support me on Patreon. I accept all the support. I am thankful for it, but this is not what the video is about. When I say I'm being forced to pay $1,500 for a car repair, it's because I discovered this thing with the market going on because of what happened this morning, and doing a little bit more research led me to realize why I had to pay this bill. But I'm perfectly capable of paying the bill. This is not me asking for money. This is just me sharing a story. I just want to make that abundantly clear. So anyway, me and my wife took our little Ford Fiesta into the dealership to get looked at. The wheels were making some weird noises, which I figured would be in alignment, and the airbag light went off, which obviously is less usual, but I was hoping that it would overall be a $500 to $700 bill. A $500 to $700 bill. That's what I was hoping for. Anyway, dropped it off overnight. Dealer mechanic looked at it and said that, first of all, yes, there was an alignment problem. The car needed to had the front tires aligned. It was going to be like $150. Okay, whatever. That's fine. But the seatbelt light, not the seatbelt light, the airbag light, that was something different. It had something to do with the seatbelt lock, in the sense that was malfunctioning. And it was malfunctioning in the way that basically it wasn't reading correctly and needed to be replaced. And what would happen if it did not get replaced is that it would, if we got into a car wreck, I should say, then there was a chance that the airbag would not deploy the way it was supposed to. So, this is a safety issue. You don't want to mess too much with it. And it was like, okay, well, that stinks that we got to get that fixed. How much is it going to cost? And it was going to cost $1,400. Overall, the whole bill is $1,500, maybe a little bit more than that. And of course, we paused and said, can we get back to you on that? Because here's the thing, the Ford Fiesta, look, it's a nice little car. I'm not going to say it's not. I mean, obviously we like it because we sold the Toyota Corolla to keep the Fiesta for a little while longer while we save for our next couple vehicles. And I had a lot of faith that the Fiesta would run. In fact, I still have faith it would run. There's nothing wrong with the engine. There's nothing wrong with the transmission. There's nothing wrong with the brakes. It's just this little thing that's happening. It's just this little thing is a safety issue. But here's the other problem. As nice as the car is, I didn't necessarily want to pay that much money to have it fixed. And the reason is because the car itself, I wasn't sure if it was actually worth it. I mean, if we were to trade it into CarMax or something today, and it wasn't there, it would probably be about $3,500. Because the light is there, and because of the nature of the problem, that gets lowered to like $2,200. And Blue Book Kelly and CarMax and Carvana for that matter, they were all pretty consistent on that topic, that it was about a $2,200 value car. And when you have a $2,200 value car, I wasn't sure if I wanted to put $1,500 into fixing it. So I was thinking, well, it's going to stink. I wanted to have more saved, but look, we have $4,000 in the car fund right now, a little more than $4,000. And we also have over $10,000 in savings, and we have a car that we could sell. Maybe this is a good time to take the $4,000 from the car fund, maybe take an additional $4,000 from the savings, and then sell the Ford Fiesta, take it to CarMax, take $2,000 or whatever it is for it. Instead of getting it fixed, just get the Prius. Finally, just bite the bullet and get the Prius. It was a lot sooner than we had anticipated. We wanted the monthly car payment to be so much lower. But hey, you know, things happen, and I didn't really want to put this kind of money into a car that frankly was not worth very much. However, as we did just a little bit of research, and I discovered a lot going through like an hour's worth of research, I have discovered that currently the used car market is in a massive, massive bubble. And this bubble is causing used cars to go up in price to heights that I think are just insane. And look, it's not the only market that's in a bubble. The housing market is also in a bubble. It's what's pretty much forcing us to wait a year before we get another place. I mean, look, we're very happy here, but we're tired of renting this place. We want to own something. And so, yeah, we would like to move on, but we just can't afford to buy a house right now. And apparently, you know, the cars are also in that little bubble, and they're blaming the chip shortage. The chip shortage seems to be affecting darn near everything these days, it seems. How bad is this? Well, this is how bad it is. And by the way, if you're an Uber or DoorDash driver or someone who relies on a car to get around and finds yourself needing a new one all of a sudden, like a new used vehicle, this is something to consider. So, Ford's used an anecdote involving a 2019 Toyota Tacoma owner that purchased his car brand new for $35,534. Manufacturer retail price, $38,641. The owner owned the truck for 2 years and put around 30,000 miles on it. Then he ended up selling the truck to Carvana for $32,860. Only $2,674 less than he bought it for. Carvana then turned around and sold the truck for $41,900, which means the new owner paid $6,500 over what the truck originally sold for. And as Forbes pointed out, as we can see, the used car pricing bubble is working well for sellers, but not so much for buyers. And this is where I started to really pause and kind of look at what's going on. And this is why I decided, ultimately, me and my wife talked about this, we decided, all right, you know what? That we can't be paying, you know, these kind of prices for used cars. We did look, you know, did a glance at used Priuses that were in the market. We definitely want a hybrid for our next car. I'm pretty much done with gas as much as I can be. You know, not only is it just costing way too much money, but, you know, it is not great for the environment. And so, you know, even if it's a small part, I'd like to do what I can to help. But, you know, do good for the planet, save money. Seems like a win-win for me. For everyone, really. But I'm looking at these used Prius prices, and some of these Priuses that have $30,000 are $18,000 to $22,000. Really not much cheaper than the new price. I think that $14,000, $15,000, that's fair for a used car that's a few years old, but not what they're charging now. And even though we could pool our resources, the thing is, when you're in a bubble, it really behooves you to wait a little bit. I mean, so I'm thinking about this, and it's like, all right, so we could pool our money and we could buy the used Prius. Or we could put the $1,400 into the Fiesta, well, $1,500 after the alignment. And we can wait another year. We'll probably get another year out of the Fiesta, maybe 2 for all we know. And when the bubble bursts, that Prius will be a few $1,000s cheaper. In which case, we do have a car that is hopefully fully functional at that point. We could get something back for, but we would also be spending a few $1,000s less than the Prius. That means we got our money's worth from the Ford Fiesta. And heck, we might even have some $12,000, $15,000. So we might even just be able to buy the car outright. I mean, the way that this is going now, it almost makes more sense to buy the car brand new. But I also want to put like a big enough down payment so that the monthly payment is low enough that we can not only buy our new used vehicle, but we can also save money for Katie's electric vehicle, which we are not in nearly as much of a dire need for as, you know, we are for a hybrid, but we would like to get her an electric so that, you know, she can be gas free. Because, you know, gas has taken up like, you know, before the pandemic took up like $200 a month. It's a lot less now that everyone's working remotely and everything. But boy, to just eliminate that bill altogether would be great. And so there were two reasons I wanted to make this as a live stream. First of all, I wanted to point out that yes, the used car market is in a bubble, and it is more or less forcing us to pay a repair bill for a car that's not worth very much, if I'm being honest, but you know, it's worth enough to me to keep it going a little bit longer, to wait for this bubble to get out of itself so that we can more comfortably buy the car. But it's also like a little bit of a warning to Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Postmates, all you people who do the gig economy out there. Look, I don't talk about it as much anymore because frankly, I think I've said for the most part what I can say about it. I don't think people really took my advice anyway, and I know that because my long-term viewers still drive this, even though there is ample evidence, black and white evidence even, that that this is not good for you and you're not really benefiting from it. But if you are doing it, I care enough to say, keep in mind, if something happens with your car, the used cars are not as affordable as they were a year ago. They are up some 30%. In some cases, they're actually costing almost as much as the brand new car. Hi, Lisa. So if something happens to your vehicle, you are going to be put in a very awkward position. You are going to be put in a position where you either have to fix your current vehicle, and the current vehicle might not be worth fixing, or you're going to have to buy a used vehicle that is more expensive than what you can afford, and in fact, maybe more expensive than what the gig economy pays to make that payment worth it. Now, thankfully, because I do have the American Express Gold Card today. Now, let's make it clear. I could easily dip into the savings and just pay it off right now. I'm probably going to put it on the American Express Gold Card and do a 12-month payment plan. The interest will only be like $25 or $50, you know, maybe $100, who knows. And that will give us time to just basically alter our lifestyle for the next year just to pay this off. But, you know, so we'll probably just do that. That's what emergencies are for. But anyway, I figured I just wanted to share that story with you. Again, I'm not asking for any money. I'm totally capable of paying for this. I was just extremely shocked and caught off guard by how much used cars are actually selling for. Figured I would vent about it just a little bit because, I mean, if YouTube channels exist for no other reason, it's to vent about your personal problems. And to kind of give people a little bit of heads up, if you're doing gig economy or you're doing something that requires you to drive your car a lot, you better really get the oil change and the maintenance and be very careful with that car, because we are in a situation right now where if that thing breaks and you're dependent on it for your finances, you are going to be put in a lose-lose situation. And I just want everyone to be very, very aware of that fact. That said, this is where this live stream is going to end. Thank you so much to everyone who watched this live, even though most of you did not comment. Thank you to the people who liked the video while we were live. And to the people who disliked the video, that's fine. I love you anyway. So I would like to know, for all those who have not caught us live, maybe you're watching this after the fact, what do you think about the used car market bubble? I mean, I guess it shouldn't be a surprise anymore. I mean, the houses are going crazy in prices, inflation is up, still can't get a PlayStation 5. It's kind of an interesting time. Like, we have not really gotten out of COVID, and with the new Delta variant going up, I mean, shoot, who knows what's going to happen in the future. But would like to know what you think about it. Are you in a position where you need to get a used car? What are you going to do in this situation if you get caught in it? I'd love to know. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.